Along with Cal Ramsey here in the Superdome, and tonight the Knicks are facing the New Orleans Jazz, and of course that spells Pete Maravich. He had the biggest single game of anybody against the Knicks this year, 39 points. Who's going to stop him, Cal?
I don't know who's going to stop him, but I think Clyde might get the assignment. Maravich playing great basketball, particularly here at home. But Walt Frazier has come along for New York in recent ball games. He's playing very strong defense, and he's scoring well. That should be the matchup to watch tonight. Frazier against Pete Maravich. And E.C. Coleman is back for the Jazz, and he'll go against Bob McAdoo.
And all of a sudden, New Orleans has a new star, too, a fellow named Paul Griffin, who grabbed 25 rebounds against Milwaukee here on Wednesday night, and that tied a club record. He's quite a rookie.
He is. He's been playing real fine ball, playing ahead of B. Hagan and Aaron James. He's done a real good job, particularly on the boards, and they need that.
Well, these two teams are getting ready for the opening tip, so in just a moment, the game between the Knicks and the Jazz will be underway. The Knicks with a heartbreaker of a loss in Atlanta last night. That really was a tough one. They forced the game into overtime, but in the final analysis, it was really a fellow named Truck Robinson who won that game for Atlanta at both ends of the floor.
He certainly did. He did an outstanding job on offense. He made the big play on defense when he switched over to help out and blocked Bob McAdoo's shot with about 13 seconds to go in the first overtime.
Lonnie Shelton was active in the game last night, as was Tom McMillan. They'll both be out there in reserve roles tonight. Meeting of the captains at midcourt is concluding, and we'll have the introduction of players in just a moment. Like most clubs in the NBA, the New Orleans Jazz proving to be a very difficult customer at home. They have won 7 consecutive home games. Their last loss on this floor came on December 19th against Detroit. Now, it is true that the Jazz did not have a home game for almost a month. Ever since the time the Knicks played them here on going back to January 23rd, the Jazz did not play again here until Wednesday of this past week, with the exception of one home game. So they've been on the road, and it's been tough for them, and they have, New Orleans has only a 5-25 record away from home, but here at the Superdome, this club has won 20 and lost only 8. And that puts their record a half game better than the Knicks record at Madison Square Garden, which is 20-9. Well,
like most clubs around the league, they are playing very well at home. And the key, of course, is the play of Pistol Pete Maravich. He's been just outstanding here in New Orleans. He's played fantastic ball down here.
And especially so against the Knicks. He leads the NBA with an average of 29.8, but against the Knicks he has scored 39, 38, and 28 points. An over-the-shoulder look at Elgin Baylor, who took over the New Orleans Jazz at midseason. Baylor's record is 11-21 since taking over this club. And Bill Burtka serves as his assistant coach. Well, that gentleman has quite a voice, and that was one of the finest renditions of the national anthem we've heard this year. And now we're about ready for the introduction of players. Pete Maravich, of course, extremely important to the New Orleans Jazz. And he has scored 50 or more points twice this year. The Jazz won both games, of course. Okay, let's follow along as the Knicks are introduced. And here is Tom McMillan coming out. And here is Jimmy McMillan. The center will be Bob McAdoo. Knicks making a change in their starting lineup tonight.
Well, Knicks were out-rebounded badly in that last ball game against Atlanta, so probably Tommy coming in to get McAdoo some help on the boards.
Earl Monroe and Walt Frazier form the back line. So it's McMillan, McAdoo, Frazier, and Monroe for the Knicks tonight here in New Orleans, coached, of course, by Red Holzman.
The Knicks start Bradley and McMillan together. They give away something on the rebounding.
Starting for New Orleans, number 15, Bud Stallworth, a 6'5 forward, averaging just 6 points a game.
He had a fine game against New York recently in the Garden.
Here's the rookie, number 30, Paul Griffin, averaging 5 points a game. He picked up 25 rebounds Wednesday night. The center will be Otto Moore, 6'11 from Pan American. He wears number 34. Here's Jim McElroy, number 33, 6'3 at guard. And, of course, the pistol. He wears number 7 this year. Maravich, the captain of the club, and averaging 29.8 points a ball game. A reminder that tomorrow night on WOR-TV, Channel 9 at 8:30, you'll be able to see the Rangers against the Chicago Blackhawks. Jim Gordon and Bill Chadwick will be on hand to send you that one. Number 27 is Dick Pavetta. Number 6 is Don Murphy. They will work the game here tonight. Pavetta and Murphy worked an earlier game this season between the Knicks and the Jazz.
Well, 2 key matchups. Once again, Pistol Pete against Walt Frazier. I'm sure Clyde will get the assignment of picking him up. Earl just said that's nice. And E.C. Coleman goes defensively against Bob McAdoo. And, of course, E.C. is one of the finest defensive forwards in basketball, and McAdoo, one of the great offensive ball players in the game. So that should be a good matchup when they do hook up.
Bob McAdoo scored 36 points the last time the Knicks played here, but the Knicks lost that game, 111-102 on January 23rd. Then Mac came back with 27 points on Tuesday night at the Garden. There's the Pistol. He has really had some outstanding games against the Knicks. One time last year, the Pistol pumped in 45 in a double overtime game last year. Otto Moore and Bob McAdoo to jump it up. Don Murphy to put the ball in the air, and we are underway as Frazier wins the tip. So the Knicks play it, and Frazier goes in underneath Maravich, pass it back between the legs of McAdoo, and picked up by McElroy and up to Maravich. Pistol down to McElroy, drives the baseline. A reach around is hung short. Tom McMillan gets the rebound, and here come the Knicks. Frazier on the dribble against McElroy, a fine defensive guard. McAdoo pitches back to Monroe and gets it back to Big Bob. Here's his shot over Otto Moore, and he is hit.
Well, Knicks did a lot of switching on defense in that game against Atlanta, and I'm sure we'll see that again this evening because they set a lot of picks out there for Pete Maravich.
McElroy fakes the stutter move. Here is a pass off from to the baseline. That is good by the Pistol as he gets his first field goal, and a foul on Tom McMillan.
Well, that time Pistol moving without the basketball. He comes along the baseline. Clyde gets caught behind the screen. You'll watch here. McMillan switches over to help out. McAdoo switches over to help out. And the foul is called. I didn't see who hit him, but they called the foul.
And the free throw was good. So that's a three-point play for Maravich. And the Knicks lead is cut to 1 at 4-3. Frazier tied up at the baseline. No shooting room on Pistol Pete. Bails it back to Monroe. Catches Tom McMillan on the move. He goes to McAdoo. Bob at the baseline feeds into the middle. That was a bad pass. Intercepted by New Orleans. Griffin on a pass to Maravich. Monroe picks him up. The Pistol fires. A little bit long over the top. A turnaround by Frazier. It is no good. Rebound on the move by Stallworth. Out to McElroy, who runs the ball club. McElroy, a stutter move. Bail it back to Griffin. Here's Griffin's jump shot. Good by the rookie, Paul Griffin. A fifth-round draft choice from Western Michigan. And that puts the Jazz up for the first time. It's 5-4. Traveling on Monroe. Red Holzman arguing on that play, as you can clearly see. This building seats 21,395 under a reserve seating basis, but they've had several crowds larger than that. Here's McAdoo firing it up. It is no good. McElroy for the rebound, and the Knicks are not getting any second chances. But Rose steals the ball. The Pearl picks the pocket. Now he has to wait for his teammates to come back. They've gone back on defense. Here's Frazier's shot. It is no good. And Otto Moore gets the board.
Well, the Knicks shooting cold right now. They're getting very good shots, but they're not falling for them.
Clyde almost gets a steal at midcourt. Here's a Maravich bomb, and it's good. Pistol Pete. McElroy studies a drive and moves on it. His reach around is good. And 9 straight points have been scored by New Orleans. It's a 9-4 New Orleans lead, and Red Holzman will take a timeout. Second basket for Tom McMillan, who got a start tonight. The Jazz leads it 9-6.
And Tommy's matched up against the rookie. Griffin is doing a good job rebounding.
That's a charge on Pistol Pete. First foul on Maravich, and we'll charge the Jazz with a turnover on that play.
Fake to his left and came back to his right and made a great move going inside for the layup. You watch him now, coming back to his right and going in for the layup. Good play by Jim McElroy.
Right now we've got 9 of 11 points out of the Jazz backcourt. A double pump by Monroe, and he hits the Pearl with his first basket of the game. Earl averaging 19.7 per ball game. Jazz by 1, 11-10. So they've been getting the scoring from the guards, as you would expect with this team. Here's Stallworth moving in for a jump shot. It is short of the mark. Frazier for the rebound. Jimmy McMillan had gotten out quickly. Let's see if Clyde goes to him. Here's a Frazier jump shot. It is off the back iron, no good. Maravich rebound. The Pistol, who is about set to negotiate a new contract with New Orleans, hits and scores. 7 points for Pistol.
He's in pretty good negotiating position, too, leading the league in scoring right now.
Knicks with 3 shots that almost fell, and in the final analysis, none did. New Orleans leads at 13-10. We're in the opening quarter. After the game, the Knicks have a charter flight back to New York. Here's a Maravich shot in the lane. It's good.
Well, the Knicks having a tough time defending against Pistol Pete right now. Clyde is guarding him, but he's going to have to get help from the big men when he makes his move down the lane.
By the way, speaking of travel, we were talking last night about the Knicks having to rush to catch a plane. Well, just in case you gave that any further thought, needless to say, they missed that airplane. And they didn't get into the hotel in New Orleans till about 3 this morning after taking a later flight. McAdoo to the hoop, and he hangs it short. Otto Moore rebounds it out to Maravich. Pistol moving up the center, going with a jump shot. No, but a foul Monroe, and the Pearl does not believe it.
Well, the Jazz running with every opportunity now. They're controlling their defensive boards. The Knicks aren't getting any offensive rebounds, and the Jazz coming up running every time, and Pistol likes to handle the ball in the fast break.
Maravich, an 83% free throw shooter, going to the line for the second time. He is 1 for 1. That's the first foul on Monroe. Red Holzman is screaming at Don Murphy. Here's Frazier moving on Maravich and can't get any room. Goes to Monroe. The Pearl knocked away by Griffin. Griffin helping out. He was actually guarding a forward, but he knocked that ball away. Here's Griffin, the rookie, moves in, dishes off McElroy. Oh, the crowd wanted that shot because the Jazz was playing good basketball.
They moved the ball very well in that sequence.
Red Holzman is readying Butch Beard to come into the game. Here's a New Orleans foul coming in, and that's Walt Frazier at his best. He actually forced that foul.
And Pistol was pretty upset with that call because he said that Walt Frazier moved into him. Clyde made a good move to fake to get him up in the air, and then he got the contact, threw the ball up. He'll shoot two.
Now Butch Beard has a chance to come in. Frazier to the bench.
And Butch will go defensively now against Pete Maravich. You notice the Jazz are using E.C. Coleman defensively against Tom McMillan, keeping Otto Moore on Big Bob McAdoo.
Just over 4 minutes remaining in the opening quarter from the Superdome in New Orleans. Down to McAdoo, low post. He takes the baseline on Moore. It's good, and a foul on Otto Moore. A possible three-point play coming up. Right, he makes the foul, and so McAdoo with 5 points, and the Jazz in the penalty now, so he would have had an extra try had he not made it. It's 17-14, New Orleans on top. 3:50 left in quarter number 1. Pete Maravich. Good. Maravich in his 7th year from LSU.
Boy, he is an offensive machine.
13 points in the quarter already. 13 of 19 for New Orleans. McAdoo. 7 for Big Bob. Jazz on top by just 2, 19-17.
That last play by Maravich, Tom McMillan came over to help Butch Beard out, and they were both all over him, and he still got that shot in.
A drive by Williams, pitch it off. Here's a jumper at the baseline. Good by Otto Moore. He doesn't score very much. Otto averaging just 6.2 a ball game, and he was picked up by the Jazz as a free agent. McAdoo, a jump shot from the right lane is good. And McAdoo now has 9 points to lead the Knicks.
You might see McAdoo switching off a lot on defense because Otto is not a real offensive threat, but if you give him a short jump shot, he'll make it. But McAdoo can gamble against him and help his teammates out.
E.C. Coleman to the middle, and Maravich, he's double-teamed and can't shoot. Gets it back to E.C. He's not really a scorer. E.C. is basically a defensive forward, so the pistol lets it fly, and he hits. No shot is too long for Maravich.
Well, it's going to be an offensive show here. It's shaping up now. Pistol Pete and Bob McAdoo.
Well, he'd have 60 if he kept on going the way he is right now. He's got 15, and we still have 2.5 to go in the quarter. Tom McMillan. Now we've got 2 minutes left in the opening quarter. McAdoo in the lane gets the shot away. It is banked up and in by Big Bob, and he's got 11.
It's turning into an offensive show by both ball clubs right now. Nobody's missing.
Earlier this year, we had a shootout between Maravich and Monroe in a game at the Garden. First time the Jazz was in. Oh, there's a foul on Beard. Pistol Pete really played Butch like a fiddle that time.
He was moving very well to get his shot off that time.
And we've got a timeout at the Superdome with 1:43 left in the first quarter to score. The Jazz 25 and the Knicks 23.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Jazz make an adjustment and switch E.C. Coleman over to Bob McAdoo because right now Otto Moore is not containing Bob McAdoo at all.
Pete Maravich headed for the foul line as we come back to play. Pistol was fouled by Butch Beard. We've got 1:43 left in the quarter. Would you believe his 16th point of this period? Well, that's really something. 17 of 27 for Pistol Pete. It's 27-23 New Orleans.
And he's shooting them from all over the floor.
They're spelling Maravich here at the quarter mark so he can get a little extra rest. McElroy's drive was short, blocked by the Knicks, and boy, McElroy thought there was a foul, but none is called.
And so did Pete Maravich and Elgin Baylor. They were off the bench yelling at the official.
An 8-point margin, 31-23. 10 seconds left in the quarter. It is good, and a foul on McElroy, and nothing like the old three-point play. And that's it. Now let's see. There's Jackson pressuring the inbound by Coleman. He gets it into Nate Williams. Nate comes up front to Howard. Howard drives off, and a block by McAdoo. Another block! Fine defense by Bob McAdoo.
Well, he made 2 super plays that time.
And that's the end of the first quarter with the score. New Orleans 36 and check that, New Orleans 31, the Knicks 26. Maravich is back in the game now, and Tiki Burton and Bill Bradley are playing for the Knicks, as is Lonnie Shelton. Lonnie blocked that one nicely. Another try, and Williams scores. Nate Williams. These days, Lonnie is playing mostly as a defensive ball player. 2 seconds on the timer. McAdoo's shot hit the rim, rebounded by Williams. It's a 3-on-2 break. Coleman scores. Nate Williams calling the play at the baseline for the Jazz. It's odd, but the Jazz and the Knicks are both battling the Boston Celtics for what appears to be the final playoff spot in the East. Pete Maravich is a star, Cal. Here's Maravich twisting by Lonnie Shelton, and the shot no good. Rebound Beard. Here comes Butch. Beat it off to Lonnie Shelton, and he lays it. Nice move by Lonnie.
Well, it's cooled off a little bit now. Maravich, he's missed 3 shots in a row after he's really shooting well in that first quarter.
It's 35-28. The pistol had that one pop out. A head fake and a foul. Lonnie Shelton draws his first personal of the night.
The Knicks just not able to get that offensive, defensive rebound. The shot was missed by Maravich, and he came right in between McAdoo and Lonnie Shelton to get the offensive rebound. Then he drew the foul.
Walt Frazier is coming back to work for the Knicks. He'll replace Butch Beard. And Maravich to the foul line. That was his 18th point. Nobody in this ball game has missed a free throw yet. Both sides perfect at the foul line. Now it's 37-28 New Orleans. Bradley on a floor pass to McAdoo. Goes down to the baseline, shoots over top E.C. Coleman, but it's no good. And Maravich takes the rebound away from Lonnie Shelton. Up to Coleman. Score it. And the Jazz jump up by 11, 39-28. And again, Red Holzman venting his emotions on referee Don Murphy, who says, sit down, Red. That time, up until now, Murph hadn't said anything, but this time he pointed at Red and said, a seat. Maravich. Boy, he's got all kinds of moves. What move doesn't this guy have, Cal?
Well, he can do it all. I don't know how you stop a guy like that. You'll have to have help, and right now the Knicks aren't able to do anything with him.
Knicks play it back in. Frazier makes the bounce pass to Tiki Burton. The ball was knocked away by Howard. Here comes Mo. Score it. And look at the happy Mo Howard. And an inbound steal for the Jazz. Everything is going wrong. Pistol fires. Oh, come on, come on. That's ridiculous. It's 47-28. Tiki Burton flies, and it's no good.
Was stolen, and Pistol Pete made another one.
Here's Mo Howard firing no good. We had a foul on Lonnie Shelton at the other end, and the Knicks have lost the ball again. 12 turnovers to 5 for New Orleans, and they picked them up in a hurry here. Williams feeding off the drive. Here's Maravich. They got it to the guy they want. Pistol in and out of the lane. Here's his good. A 21-point lead, 49-28. Lonnie Shelton gets a basket, and that's only the second basket for the Knicks in the quarter as you watch Dean Meminger get ready to come into the game. New Orleans has outscored the Knicks 20-4 in the quarter. A loose ball foul is called on Maravich.
And these fans are getting excited. That's the first break the Knicks have had in some time.
Pistol called on his third personal foul. That could be a factor. Looks like somebody ought to put a handle on that ball right now. McAdoo shoots. Good. And inside, contact between Phil Jackson and Otto Moore, and they both went down to the floor. 13 points for McAdoo.
Now the Knicks have given Dean Meminger the task of trying to contain Pete Maravich. Nobody else has been able to do anything with him so far.
What do you say? 27 points for Maravich, and we're 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes from halftime.
Well, Pistol can shoot, but he works to get his shots off. You watch him using a screen here, working against Dean Meminger. Now he comes off the screen by Nate Williams and Otto Moore. Two guys boxing out right there, and their Pistol goes up for a shot.
Elgin Baylor showing a little displeasure, but he's got to be careful here because his club leads it by 21. He can't be too unhappy. Another steal. Oh, the turnovers are killing the Knicks. Kelly. And a 23-point lead. 55-32. McMillan for a jumper. It's no good. And a rebound, Griffith. Here's a halftime NBA score. Golden State 52 and Buffalo 50. The Warriors have lost 3 in a row, and the Braves have won 4 straight. Joe Mullaney doing a fine job in Buffalo. Maravich with a hook shot. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. 29 points.
Well, he is doing it all now, showing his hook shot on Dean Meminger. The Knicks are not getting anything inside offensively. Everything is coming from the outside, and they're not hitting very well, and they're not getting those offensive rebounds.
Knicks have been outscored in the quarter 26-6. Nate Williams on a drive. It is up and good. A 28-6 margin for the Jazz here in the quarter, and they lead at 59-32. No good. Rebound Coleman. No second tries for the Knicks right now. We've got 3.5 minutes left in this quarter, and it's been a nightmare. Last night it was the third quarter that was so bad. Bo Howard puts one in. This is not the largest deficit the Knicks have faced this year. Back on January 11th in the third quarter at Portland, they were down by 34. But it's approaching that as Maravich guns one up, and it's 63-32. A steal. And it's taken by Meminger. That time the Jazz just rushed it up a little bit too much. Beard at the baseline, goes on the end line. He turned it over. Right now, Pete Maravich has 1 less point than the Knicks as a team. Meminger against Howard. A battle of the little giants. And the Jazz keep it. No, it's stolen away by Beard. Up front to Jimmy McMillan. He drives. Off the glass, no good. Coleman rebounds. That was fine defense by Maravich. Williams on a move, and he traveled. Yes, he did. The lowest quarter by any team in the NBA this year is 10. That is by 6 different teams. The fewest points in a half is 28 by the Nets at Washington on January 21st. The Knicks have already surpassed that. But the quarter mark is still up for grabs because the Knicks have scored just 6 here in the quarter. And they have been outscored in the period 32-6. It is really one of the most unusual periods of NBA pro basketball that I've ever seen. And Red is really laying into the club, and I can't blame him. And maybe a little tongue lashing here is exactly what's called for. Here's Bill Bradley with a jump shot. It is no good, and a rebound by Coleman. I don't think the Knicks have had an offensive rebound in the quarter.
Maybe one.
2 minutes left in the quarter as Howard shoots and scores. And that makes it a 34-6 advantage in the quarter. It is 65-32 as the Jazz has doubled the Knicks' output in the game. McAdoo is short. Offensive rebound. There's one for Big Mac. Out to Jim McMillan. Down to the baseline and a layup for Bradley. The 8th point of the quarter for the Knicks. Bradley scoring for the first time in the game. 1.5 minutes left in the third quarter. New Orleans on top, 65-34. The rookie Paul Griffin looking for help. 5 seconds on the timer. He'll do it himself. It is no good, and Bradley has the rebound. Here comes Tiki Burton. Tiki goes inside, puts it up good, and we've got a foul. Phil Jackson in for the Knicks. Tiki Burton hits the first free throw. Tiki hitting at 56%, and his only free throw, I should say, and Jackson gets that ball. McAdoo.
Well, the full court press worked for New York that time. They made this deal, and McAdoo had to jump at the top of the key.
Knicks now with 11 points in the quarter. Make it 12 points in the quarter. Tiki Burton comes back and scores again. And the Knicks putting a little dent in that margin right now. It is 65-41. 36 seconds remaining in the second quarter, but no matter how it finishes, it's been a disastrous one for the Knicks. Maravich was on the baseline. That drive nullified.
That's one of the few things that Pistol has done wrong this evening, going baseline and stepped on the out-of-bounds line.
Maravich has scored 31 points in the game thus far. His career high, by the way, is 51. And if he would keep playing like this in the second half, of course, he would have a shot at that. Tiki Burden left up a high riser. No good. McAdoo rebound. 7 seconds in the quarter. 5 seconds. Tiki Burden to the basket. No good. And the rebound by Howard. And that will do it in the quarter. And I don't know what that scoreboard looks like to you, but what it says is Jazz 65 and the Knicks 43. And the Jazz shot 57% in the first half, and the Knicks shot 39%. And Gallo was a blessing for the Knicks that at least they made a run at the Jazz toward the end of that quarter, or it could have been total disaster.
A tremendous first half by the Jazz, and again, Pete Maravich in particular, he had an outstanding offensive game. The Jazz did a tremendous job on defense, but towards the end, the Knicks started to come back a little bit. They're going to have to really play tough ball to get back into this ball game.
There's Pistol Pete. What a first half he had. He shot 12 of 18. He also shot 7 for 7 in fouls, and he had 5 assists, which is the best figure for any player on either team as well. So in addition to scoring 31 points, you might say that he was accountable for 41
he had
the Jazz points.
A tremendous first half. He played a real fine all-around basketball game. The Knicks were not able to contain him at all. He pretty much did what he wanted to do out there, shooting that long jump shot. The Knicks did try to help out on defense, but he's so quick he was able to get his shots off. And again, a fine, outstanding offensive performance by Pistol Pete Maravich.
Bob McAdoo shooting 7 of 14 for the Knicks. He leads them in scoring with 17 points. And then we drop down to 8 for Tom McMillan. Tom shooting 4 out of 7. The rebounding leader for the Knicks is Bob McAdoo with 5, 2 on the offensive board, 3 on the defensive board. At one stage in that quarter, New Orleans had outscored the Knicks by a 34-6 margin. In the quarter overall, it was 34-17 as the Knicks came back with a rush at the end. Elgin Baylor, one of the all-time great forwards in the NBA. In fact, maybe the all-time greatest forward. Coaching the New Orleans Jazz now.
And the Knicks going back with the same team that finished up the second quarter. Jim McMillan, Butch Beard, Chucky Burton, Phil Jackson, and Bob McAdoo.
And here is the hugeness of this Superdome. And this basketball court almost seems like it's lost in it. They just kind of side it up to one side, put in those extra stands, and away we go. But this is a huge edifice here in New Orleans. This is not your average arena.
And there's a warning for Phil Jackson for delay of game as he reached over and knocked the ball away from Jim McElroy.
Delay of game warning issued to the Knicks. Well, you're allowed to play tight defense, but you're not supposed to touch the ball while it's in the opponent's hands. Here are the Knicks using a press, and apparently they're going to go with it and see if it can bring them back. 65-43 as we start the third quarter. New Orleans on top. Here's the Pistol, and he has been hot. McElroy, stalwart, a little bit long, and McAdoo gets the rebound. And let's see if the Knicks can score first here in the third quarter. Tiki Burden to McAdoo. Mac baits a pop shot, moves in tighter. It is good, and a foul on Otto Moore. And so it's 65-46. Maravich bailed it back as he came across midcourt in the air. Here's the shot by Pistol. He's good. Pete Maravich now with 33 points in the ball game. The Knicks have won their season series from Golden State and Los Angeles by 3-1 margins, and they finished 2-2 against Cleveland, Houston, and the Nets. McAdoo's shot is good. Second basket of the quarter by Bob. He's got 22 points. 69-48 New Orleans. Maravich almost tripped. Feeds to Griffin. Maravich said something to Tiki Burton. Tiki is picked off here, and the Pistol hits.
I don't know how you stop him. He is too much.
Cal, I don't know about you, but I'm running out of things to say about Maravich. McAdoo.
McAdoo's not doing a bad job in New York. He's shooting that ball very well, too.
He has outscored the Pistol in the quarter, 7-4. Butch Beard on a foul. I'll tell you why Butch is upset. He got nothing but ball, but he knocked the ball into Maravich's head.
It was a good defensive play by Butch. He came over the top and hit the ball. The ball bounced off of Pistol's head, and they call a foul on Butch.
That's the old head foul, Cal. Brent Holzman really frustrated. The Pistol with a 37-point output. He is really something. He set his career high as Beard puts one up short. Maravich set his career high earlier this year. It's a 51-point mark. McElroy blocked off the board, and here come the Knicks. A 3-on-2 New York break. Punched away by Griffith. And McAdoo has scored 26 points, 9 in the quarter.
He's been very hot here in this third quarter. The only man really shooting well for the Knicks.
73-52, New Orleans on top. Goes on a drive and gets himself a basket. The Knicks once trail in this game by 33, their second biggest deficit of the year. McAdoo misses. Jackson picks up the loose ball to save it for the Knicks. Jim McMillan goes on a drive on Stallworth, stops and shoots and scores. Jim McMillan with his first score of the night.
Well, the story of this ball game is Pistol Pete Maravich. He is really doing it all. The Knicks trying to really give Butch Beard some help now defensively against Pistol, but nothing seems to work.
39 points for Maravich, and that matches his high against the Knicks. Holzman is keeping McAdoo and Jackson in the game. Otherwise, the three changes. Here's the Pistol. The next point for him will be a high for the year against the Knicks. No good for Stallworth. Rebound Shelton, stolen by Stallworth, and a whistle. And it's 77-56 New Orleans. And here's pressure again for the Knicks with 8:20 left in the third quarter. Knicks back home to play the Indiana Pacers tomorrow night. Pistol almost tripped again. Here's his jumper. No good this time. McAdoo rebound.
He beat the press all by himself that time.
Didn't he? Didn't need the other four guys. Here's a McAdoo shot. A little bit off target. Lonnie Shelton has the offensive rebound. Knicks have had a number of offensive rebounds this quarter. In and out for McAdoo. Lonnie Shelton, a turnaround. Good.
Well, one thing to the Knicks' credit, they're trailing here by 20, 19 points, but they are still playing hard basketball. They're not giving up.
Tom McMillan will be back in the game shortly for the Knicks. James McElroy matched up against Dean Meminger. Here's Maravich with Frazier. Everybody's had a chance at Pete tonight. He's working for this one. He takes it. No good.
I tell you, there's such a thing as a law of averages. Pistol will have to cool off pretty soon because he has not missed too many shots this season.
I think he defies that law and a few others sometimes. Otto Moore gets fed in the post, back to the Pistol, goes on a drive right to the basket. It is good, and he's fouled. And he has hit for the highest number of points of any player against the Knicks this year. He's got 41.
And he made another great offensive move. That time going to his left, going around Tom McMillan, and Tom pushing him as he goes up for a shot.
Maravich at the foul line adds the point. Now it is 80-58 New Orleans, and the Pistol with 42. Halfway through quarter number 3. Knicks have been busy lately. Tonight is the Knicks' 7th of 8 games in 11 days. Don Murphy sounds a whistle underneath, and he's got a foul on Lonnie Shelton.
There you saw Pistol Pete Maravich's versatility. He was double that time, and he gave a good pass inside to Otto Moore.
All right, here's Maravich. What a ball game he's playing. 42 points for the Pistol right now. Frazier knocks the ball free. By trying to dog Pistol feet. And he decides not to force the fast break and to go ahead and wait. Maravich still working for shots, and he gets the shot. Oh, what an incredible shot. A foul will be called on McAdoo, and he almost got the field goal.
He can do no wrong tonight. Earl was on him. He put a good move on Monroe to get him off balance. McAdoo came over to help out. You'll watch on the replay now. As he puts the fake on Earl, Earl goes past. McAdoo comes to help out. He gets them both up in the air, and he gets the contact there as he goes up for a shot.
Pistol has missed his first free throw. He is now 11 of 12 at the line. And you'd have to say, unless he sits down for a large stretch of this ball game, if he keeps playing, he's going to set a new career high tonight. Because he's within 8 points of it right now. In the third quarter. Pistol fires. He's short. He's running out of energy, I think.
He might be a little tired now.
Wouldn't be surprised. Frazier lets one loose. Good by Clyde. 4:45 remaining in the quarter. The Knicks will be facing a stretch of 3 straight games at home, which they will enjoy. Maravich misses again, and a loose ball foul on Maravich. The Pistol draws his 4th personal foul.
Well, the big story here is the Pistol. Apparently, he's kind of cooled off now. He's missed several shots from the outside, but he's had a fantastic offensive night so far. They were pretty successful in the first half with this.
10 points for Shelton. Here's Maravich dribbling through that press. He's going to go in and drive, shoot on the right. It's good, and he was fouled. And Pistol ran right over top. A cameraman perched at courtside. Boy, he looks like he wants that new career high tonight.
Well, it's awfully tough to press a man with his dribbling ability. You'll watch him here beating Lonnie Shelton. Monroe coming over, and he just goes right around Earl here. Earl bumps him as he goes up for a shot, and he makes a 3-point play out of it.
That's right. He hits the foul. That's his 46th point. Pete Maravich set his career high of 51 points on December 14th. That was the night that Elgin Baylor took over as coach of this ball club, and the Jazz beat Kansas City. Maravich misses. Rebound McAdoo. Pitching it behind. He was trapped, and Jackson, fortunate thing he was there. Lonnie Shelton fires. Good for the 11,033 fans watching the game at the Superdome tonight. Monroe, no good. Rebound the Pistol.
But they're going to have to score a little better than that. Take advantage of these opportunities on the missed shots.
Maravich still working for shots. Here goes the Pistol. Double team. Score it. Maravich now with 48 points. Pistol Pete Maravich getting a rest right now, and listen to the hand he gets from this New Orleans crowd. Sits down with 48 points. New Orleans turns it over. And Butch Beard lays it up on a pass from Monroe.
I tell you, Pistol has to be in great position to renegotiate his contract now after a game like this. You watch Maravich here making a move against Butch Beard. Comes between his legs. Then he gets a little screen there. Comes around. McAdoo comes to help. Earl comes to help. But to no avail.
Now we've had a foul call on Phil Jackson, and it almost developed into a fight. Jackson and Otto Moore. And you know, when Phil sometimes commits fouls, he gets rather definite about it. And the press put on by the Knicks. They need a tip by Jackson, and the Knicks steal it. Here's a jumper for the Pearl. No good. Bradley tips it back to the Pearl again. Monroe to Bill at the baseline. Back to Monroe. A jump shot. No good. And a rebound, Otto Moore. The Knicks really wanted that basket because the pressure defense got them the chance.
That's true. They worked hard on defense to get that ball back, and Earl had a couple shots, but it just wouldn't fall for him.
12 seconds remaining in the third quarter from the Superdome in New Orleans. Here's Mo Howard into the lane to Otto Moore. His shot. A buzzer beater by Otto Moore. And that's the end of the third quarter with the score, the Jazz 96 and the Knicks 77. Earl has moves within moves. You got to watch for them. It's 96-81. Knicks have cut the margin in half. The Jazz once led it by 33. Well, there's Maravich hitting his 50th point. One away from a career high.
Had a good opportunity now. They sliced that lead down to 15. They could have got to 13 on that play, but Butch didn't get that shot up in the air.
A jumper by the Pistol. A career high for Maravich. 52 points. Maravich with a new career mark. And you folks watching on television tonight are seeing the best offensive game in Maravich's history. He's played professional ball for 7 years. 10 points for Tom McMillan. Again, it's only a 15-point margin, 100-85.
Well, Knicks have tried everything and everybody on the Pistol, and nobody's worked out too well.
He's still shooting. 54 and still counting. Tommy Mack with 12 points tonight. 102-87. The Pistol firing for 56. He's got it. 56 points.
Well, he's incredible. He had a cold streak for a while where he missed about 3 or 4 shots. Now he can't miss anything.
The fans cheering for Pete. Here goes the Pistol. He'll let it fly. This one is off target, but he's been fouled. Frazier fouled him.
Oh, he missed the shot, but he gets fouled in the attempt. He can do no wrong for the Jazz this evening.
So he can pick up a couple here. That would give him 58. And obviously he could be deserving of some rest right now, but I believe he wants to stay in.
Oh, yeah. He's playing like he wants to stay in.
58 he's got. Here they go, and he gets a layup to hit 60. You're watching basketball history for Pete Maravich tonight. 60 big ones. And this is the highest single game for any player in the NBA this year. Tom McMillan short, and the rebound taken down by Otto Moore.
Pistol is great with the basketball, but he's also very good without the ball. You watch him get the ball up here, bump Dean off on that pick there. McMillan did a nice switch, and that's the result. Pistol is in for a layup.
Here's another jump shot by Maravich. No good. Rebound, Otto Moore. Get it back to Mo Howard. He hits. Previous high game by any NBA player this year was 51. It happened twice, both by Maravich and also by Phil Smith of Golden State. Halfway through this final quarter, and Maravich is tripped, and he comes up holding his ankle. And wouldn't it be something if this fine player got hurt in a game where he had come up with a performance like this, but he got tangled up, and it looked like it was with Meminger, didn't it?
Nope, I think it was Tricky Burton came behind and reached in for the ball. Yeah, it's Tricky reaching in for the ball. He gets his foot, he twists his ankle a little bit coming down. I don't think it's too serious. I hope not anyhow.
And they're taking a look at him. Trainer Don Sparks is out there working on the pistol. And
watch again, Tricky steps on his foot here, reaching in, trying to get the ball right there. And he turned his ankle a little bit, but he's not hurt. Not bad.
Might have suffered a floor burn sliding like that, too. Here he is at the free throw line. And he just keeps scoring them. That's 61 points. He misses this one here. He's had a good night at the foul line, too. He's 14 of 16 from the free throw line. 111-89, New Orleans.
Jags up by 22. You'd think that they might want to rest Pistol now, but he just keeps on going.
Here he fires away, and no good this time. Nate Williams trying for an offensive rebound. Otto Moore's pass out is blocked, but the Jazz recover it. Here's the Pistol. Sees some daylight, goes in, lay it up. Good. No, a charge. A charging foul on Pistol, and that is his 5th personal foul.
Well, you watch Pistol here. He makes a move. Tricky Burton trying to make a steal on him here. Tom McMillan moving over in position. Tough call. Could have gone either way, but it went against Maravich.
3:50 left in the ball game. Rich Kelly is in for New Orleans. The ball knocked away.
Well, Dean working hard on defense that time. He was fronting Pistol Pete, and that ball came in and went off of Dean's hands, they call. They're looking for him.
Aaron James inside. Look at that move! Maravich backed into Meminger. What a basket. He's got 63. He put the right spin on that ball.
He sure did.
Tricky Burton fires up and hits a Tricky with a long one. Tricky has contributed 7 points. It is 113-91. New Orleans on top. The crowd rooting for Pete every time he comes up the floor. Knicks trying to double team him now.
Dean has the task of trying to contain him, and that's a hard job today.
Here he uses a pick and scores again. And look at his teammates rooting for him. Look at Coleman. Coleman leaped into the air when he scored. 65 for the Pistol. Tricky Burton doing his Pistol Pete imitation. 115-93.
The Jazz are going to Pistol every time down the floor now.
They're trying to get picks for him now. They're no longer asking him to bring the ball up the floor. Here's a foul. Dean Meminger. And free throws coming for Maravich. Well, this is some night. We've got 2:48 left, and he does indeed have a chance to get into the 70s. Playing for the first time tonight, number 11, Ron Behagen, into the ball game. He replaces Coleman.
When Ron came in the game, he came in and congratulated Maravich on his great shooting performance this evening. Pistol is doing it good.
66 points. 2:14 remaining. The Pistol with 66 right now. Here's a basket for him if he can convert. 68 for Maravich. And a steal. Look at him fight for this ball. The Pistol's doing it all. A great ball game. Traveling. And the crowd is going wild here at the Superdome.
I wonder what kind of contract he's going to ask for after this ball game.
Well, he ought to call his agent in right away. Lonnie Shelton with a dramatic stuff shot. 122-97. Jazz on top. 1:45 to go, and it's just a question of how many the Pistol will score. Here he is with the basketball. He takes the shot. No good. He's forcing a little bit. There's no question about that, but he's making most of them anyway.
And he has to be tired right now.
Sure. Tiki Burden. Out to Pistol. Goes on a drive. He's out of the ball game. They called him with an offensive foul, and that will foul him out of the ball game with 1:18 to go. Listen to the hand he gets with 68 points.
Pistol Pete getting tremendous round of applause for a tremendous performance by Pistol Pete Maravich, 68 points.
And his father, Press Maravich, is undoubtedly here at the game. He is a scout for the Jazz. Well, that free throw by Lonnie puts the Knicks at the century point. They are announcing that it's the highest total by a guard in the history of the National Basketball Association.
Well, you got to give it to him. He put on a performance this evening.
31 seconds left in the ball game. An incredible performance by Pistol Pete Maravich, and 11,033 fans here in New Orleans saw it. Yeah, I was at Hershey, Pennsylvania the night that Wilt got his 100. As a youngster, I lived in that area at that time, and I was just there as a fan. And in the meantime, in the years since that happened, I've run into thousands of people who said they saw that game, and there were only about 5,000 people there.
Well, I wasn't there. I was in the Eastern League playing that day, but I wasn't the guard when Archer got his 71. I think Willie North got about 40 or 50 something that night for New York.
Well, we'll both be able to say we were here for this one. Tommy with 16. 5 seconds left in the ball game. Aaron James. Walker. That scores. Score the basket by Walker, and that's the ball game. The final score, 124-107. New Orleans wins it. We'll be back with a recap after this. Breaking down the incredible game by Pete Maravich tonight. 27 field goals, 14 free throws for 68 points. The highest score ever produced by a guard in the NBA. And there have been some fantastic guards who have played basketball in this league. But on this night, in this game, it was Pistol all the way.
He did it all. There's no doubt about it. He had great range on his shots. He got a lot of help from his teammates who were really cheering for him. You see right here, Mo Howard. His Pistol did everything well. He shot the jump shot. He ran the fast break. He penetrated, going down the lane, along the baseline, inside, down low. He did everything conceivable out there on the basketball floor this evening. And he shot the ball extremely well.
And he fouled out with 1 minute and 18 seconds to go, or he might have had a chance for another field goal.
One of the most widely celebrated collegiate hoopsters in history, Pete Maravich moved from LSU to the Atlanta Hawks in 1970. He was always a scintillating ball handler, and an appealing touch of cockiness also helped make Maravich an accomplished showman. Pistol Pete could fire dead-eye jumpers from deep in the backcourt, or else he'd blast to the hoop and shoot a hole in the most forbidding defense. But Pete loved to run, and he was at his best squeezing the trigger of a fast break. When Maravich was dealt to New Orleans in 1974, his string music was the syncopation in the jazz offense. Then in 1977, Pete's crowd-pleasing heroics peaked with a 68-point extravaganza against the Knicks on his way to becoming the league's leading scorer. Yet throughout his glorious 10-year career, Maravich always yearned to play on a winning ball club, and he would gladly have traded all his bullseyes for one championship ring. Even so, Pistol Pete Maravich was a quick-draw artist whose hot shots burned defenders and made the net dance.